good yourself?
Very, very good.
Before I get to my question, I just wanted to say that there's two directors that I look up to and I get inspired by, and it's you and Quentin Tarantino.
I thought you were going to say, and you're both of them. Quentin, I love him too. I get my inspiration from him as well.
Yeah.
You can see it clearly in fucking Red State, particularly in Tusk as well. That was me. Like Red State was me trying to make a Quentin Tarantino movie by way of the Coen brothers, which is a soupçon of Kevin Smith.
Ever since the 90s, your films really talk to the people like us, the comic book geeks, the film gurus, everybody in this room today, and over time your films became an amalgamation of an independent film and a grindhouse movie, and those are movies I really want to make. And
oh my God, you're just like me when I was a kid, except thin.
And the thing is that I get movie ideas every single day. I write scripts all the time. I'm taking university courses online for films, screenwriting, all that stuff. And my question is that how do I get people to take a 16-year-old like myself more seriously about his passion? And do you have any advice to somebody like me who just wants to make movies for a living?
Yeah, man. Let's get the advice out of the way. There's no more fun way to live your life than make and pretend for a living. Don't limit it to just movies, because that's look, television. There's multimedia at this point. Podcasting, I'm a big pusher of. Don't limit it to just movies. Be a storyteller, because then that opens you up to whatever new form of media they introduce, and you could jump onto that as well. I would advocate it wholeheartedly. I'll never be able to have a kid myself. I helped father one, as we heard, but I'll never produce life. I've taken a shit. That's not even close. So the closest I could ever get to like creating life is being a writer. You create a world, you create people, you breathe life into them and stuff. You play God in some weird way because you put them in weird situations and then resolve shit and whatnot. So doing that shit, telling stories and self-expressing, most importantly, I guess you could put it under that heading as well. That shit will keep you young. You're fucking 16 now. If you start self-expressing as you're doing now and keep it up, you're gonna look like that at age 80. Maybe some crow's feet. Because I honestly believe like people expressing themselves is like kind of what keeps people younger, man. Because you can have a lot of agita when you can't express yourself, and like builds up when you don't feel heard and shit like that. So that's what's beautiful about the arts, is you can speak your mind, but do it in an artistic way where it doesn't go down as medicine. If everybody had to listen to everybody express their fucking opinions, we'd hate everybody. But if people can express their opinions through art, you don't mind it so much. Motherfucker makes a song, you're like, oh, that's fucking cute, man. Blank space, even though you hate, Taylor Swift. But it's just like that self-expression. It's like, oh shit, it fucking hit me here. You watch a movie, it's like that self-expression got me here. So I would always advocate this life for anybody who's remotely maker-oriented. If you're like, oh, I've always wanted to try that. It's not just people like clearly this kid's gonna spend his life making films. He's interested at a young age. There are people out here who are way older than this kid, probably double his age and shit, who also have a whimsy or two about like, ooh, I would fucking like to do that. And I advocate that for everybody. Like, give it a shot. Now you can do it very affordably with your fucking phones. Like, you can sit there and shoot a flick. Now you're seeing billboards all around fucking towns, shot on iPhone 6. Gorgeous fucking vistas. So, you can't even be like, oh, it's expensive. It's not as expensive as it used to be at this point, man. And, you can sit there and put together a fucking script of some sort. Just give your hand at it. For anybody that's ever sat there and been like, well, I wonder, or I got a good idea. I guarantee you've all gone to movies and been like, I fucking could do something better than this. You absolutely fucking can. So, this guy, and I'm sure you've gone to my movies like tonight and said, I can do something better than this. And everybody can fucking do it. So I advocate doing that wholeheartedly. I say start podcasting because it's a storyteller medium that doesn't require one iota of talent. People get afraid when you're like, oh, express yourself. It's like, I don't have talent. I don't have talent either. I've been doing this 21 years, man. So like, you don't need talent for something like a podcast. All you need is a willingness to say something. You need to be able to talk. And we all know how to have conversations. So for anybody sitting out there who's like, oh, I might like to dip my toe in the pool, I say start with podcasting. If you love storytelling there, try the next step, man. Start putting something on wax, start shooting. I believe in it wholeheartedly. Making art, man, there's like making destruction and making art. What else is there? I say choose the art thing. What was the first part, though, that you asked?
Hold up, I have it written down because
How do you get somebody to take a 16-year-old seriously?
It's fucking impossible.
Well, do it positively. In America, they're always like, fucking whipping out guns. Now they'll take me seriously. Don't do that, please. Whip out a camera. If you're gonna shoot something, shoot a fucking fun scene or something like that. That's what they don't fucking process down there. These kids put on trench coats and go fucking ape shit. Make some art, man. You really want to make a stink. You want to make a statement. You want to let them know you were there. That's what it's all about. That's why I do it. I'm scared. One the fuck day, I'm gonna wake up fucking dead. And the earth is not going to stop rotating and shit like that. I watched it all happen recently. I had 2 deaths in my life, man. My brother-in-law died, which was really fucking harrowing. But even before that, man, we had a dog, 17 years. My dog Mulder, one of 2 dogs, Scully and Mulder. We were big X-Files fans. Almost named the little dog Cigarette Smoking Man. That's how big. So Scully died a few years ago. The truth was out there and she went to it. And Mulder hung around for a lot fucking longer. And this was a dog that, like, back legs went out for the whole last 1.5 years and shit. Couldn't walk. One day I saw him like teetering and boop, he would go down and he'd look kind of confused. And I was like, that's kind of funny and shit. He looked stoned, but it was his back legs going out. And then fucking within 2 months, he couldn't get up anymore. So everyone in the family's like, well, maybe it's time to let him go. He's old, he's 16 and shit like that. I said, no, fucking, he can't walk. His legs are bad. Fuck that. Like, we can do something. So I put a scarf under his back legs and hoist him up like this, called it the magic walking scarf, and fucking sing it to him. I was like, here's your magic walking scarf. But he was 16 and deaf, he didn't give a fuck, he just wanted this. So I put the scarf under his back legs, and his front legs could work fucking fine. He can walk and get up with those, and back didn't work. So I'd pick up the back legs and fucking become his back legs, and go out to the bathroom with him, and he'd piss all over me and shit all over, but fucking so be it. And, I did that for like a year, man. And as a huge Game of Thrones fan, one day I realized I'm carrying this crippled kid around on fucking Hodor at this point. And the family keeps saying, like, let him go, man. He's old. We got good years out of him and shit. I was like, nah, he's still fucking kicking. He's still here, man. He's wagging his tail and shit. So I hung out with him for the last year of his life, man. And then he was kind of like the thing I did every day. And then one day we reached the absolute end and shit. And I posted a picture of it online when he was still alive and shit. So he passed, and then this extraordinary fucking thing happened where, I looked at the dog for the first time through a completely different prism where I was like, holy shit, I learned something from the dog. As much as I love this fucking dog, I learned exactly what I want to do for the rest of my life and when I let go of this life, because that's the key to living, is eventually release as gracefully as you can. And I watched this fucker release as gracefully as possible. It was unbelievable, man. Just didn't cause a fuss, just faded away like fucking Yoda, almost like the blanket on top of him like fell down because he disappeared. I half expected to see a ghost version of the dog hanging out with Ben Kenobi afterwards. So when he passed, like, and my hand was on him, and he fucking went and shit like that. I used to be something of a religious person, and then suddenly I was like, this has nothing to do with religion or spirituality or anything like that. It has to do, everyone's always wondering what the mystery of life is and what's after life and whatnot. I saw what happened after life. Like, he just stopped. His body just kind of stopped and shit. And all that wonderful personality and nobility just fucking ended. He just released pretty gracefully. And I was sitting there going, fuck, that's what I want to be. And I want to be a dude who, like, loves everybody unconditionally, like this fucking dog. And I want to be loyal to fucking everybody. I want to be curious. I want to sniff a lot of ass. Go out there in the world and fucking see shit. And then one day, when it's time, just fucking release. But that's always been a scary thing for me, like it is for everybody. Nobody wants to fucking think about the end and shit like that. But if the end bugs you, and it did bug me as a child, and it still bugs me, the only thing you can do, because we can't stop the fucking grave, is make your mark. Let them know you were here. Like, this world turns so fucking fast that there are no real heroes, man. The world stops for nobody's death. It certainly didn't stop for the death of my dog. I did. I thought the world stopped, but it did not. Steve Jobs, man. I remember when he died, I was like, fuck, what the fuck are we gonna do now? Like, I bet you everyone's gonna, like, fucking quit work and hang themselves. Like, this is gonna be unbelievable. He got maybe 36 hours, and everybody, race went on. It's the human race, man. One of us stumbles and falls. People look back as briefly as they can, and then they have to fucking look forward because the race fucking keeps going. And so you can't guarantee anyone's going to remember you. You have families, try to spread the name around, shit like that, make your mark on the earth with progeny and whatnot. But I like art. The idea of kind of making your mark with art. Like, I'll be gone, and hopefully some of this shit will live on just a little bit longer after. I mean, it's not going to live forever. I don't have the fucking balls to believe that, like, in 200 years, they'll be studying Tusk on the moon or something like that. But, like, maybe fucking 20 years, 10 years, 5 years after I'm fucking gone, you know, it's one of these things will pop up on fucking cable or something like that. And somebody will fall down the rabbit hole that I often fall down when I'm watching a movie. Who directed this? Who's in this? How the fuck did this happen? And you start reading up on it and shit. And oh, there was a guy named Kevin Smith and he made these movies and they were interconnected. He got thrown off a plane once. Like, they just start. And in that way, I'm alive a little bit, you know, even though I won't be there anymore. So I wholly advocate fucking making your mark in a positive way. You're starting now at 16 makes me so fucking jealous. I started at 22. I was such an old man. If I was 16 when I started, I might have made something of myself, man. But how do you get them to notice you? You know, I say this thing all the time, and I fucking honestly believe it, which is why I say it. Like, your voice is your only currency in this life. You know, the shit you say, the shit you think, your perspective, the entire life course that brought you to this prison where you're like, this is how I see things and how I perceive things in life, is so wholly unique from every other motherfucker in this room, me included, every other motherfucker in fucking Nova Scotia, every other motherfucker in Canada, North America, the Earth, and the galaxy. It is so fucking snowflake unique. That's fantastic. That's worth something. That's invaluable, man. Like, to have fucking something that nobody else has, that's what people try to do. They try to collect shit that people don't have, and you have something right now that nobody has. So, you're lucky. You have a unique perspective of a 16-year-old man, and you'll beat any old man at that game. I'm making movies now. I just made a movie, Yoga Hosers, with 2 15-year-old girls in it. Thank God I had a 15-year-old girl living in my house. Otherwise, the movie would have sounded really fucking dumb. It would have sounded like a bunch of 15-year-old kids saying shit like, I've got bills and the gout, you know. So you've got an incredibly unique perspective, man. Now, unfortunately, you're swimming in a giant world of mass media at this point. Like, as cool as it is that anybody can express themselves now thanks to YouTube or podcasts, everybody's doing it. So it's like, how do you cut through that detritus? And that's when I say, use your voice. A lot of people try to sheep it up and do what somebody else is doing. What is successful? I will do that. Don't do that. It's been done. And, there's always somebody to kind of take that formula and redo it and redo it. Be the person that presents them with something where they're like, oh, fuck, let's do that now. And you have a chance to do that because your voice is completely fucking unheard, completely original, completely fucking new. How do you get it heard? I mean, fuck, dude, if I knew, I would sell you the code and fucking I'd get rich because I'd sell everyone the code. So the best thing I could say is what worked for me. Number one, my best advice, make Clerks. It totally worked for me. Number two, if failing that, make your Clerks, man. Make your fucking statement, like, where maybe it doesn't happen with that film. I certainly didn't expect it for anyone to notice Clerks. Clerks was made as a movie that we were going to show to other people to be like, can you please give us money to make a real movie next time? So it fucking caught me off guard. I had no idea it was going to happen. I was getting ready to just be like, this is who I am. This is who I am. This is who I am. The independent filmmakers I love, they didn't have massive openings for their films. They quietly put out movie after movie that kind of distinctively said who they were as filmmakers. So that's the path I wanted to go. I was like, I'll put out this little movie. Maybe some people will see it on video. I'll put this out. Maybe some people will see it. And we got lucky. Miramax picked up Clerks, and suddenly, we were off and running. And shit. There were 2 black and white movies out that year. Clerks and Schindler's List. And everybody would confuse them. Like those Meteor movies and shit. So it was, that self-expression in that moment, which it'd be amazing to do today, but I can't because I was a kid when I wrote that stuff. But that fucking self-expression that captured a lot of people's imagination, that came from the fact that I couldn't make anything like anybody else. I wasn't talented enough to mimic somebody else. I mean, the closest I did was Jim Jarmusch made a movie called Stranger Than Paradise, and I was like, he doesn't move the camera that much. That means I don't have to move the camera that much. And that was about it, man. So at that point, the rest of it is just like, here's who I am. And for some reason, that connected with people. So my best advice to you is tell them who you are, man. Tell your fucking story. Use your fucking voice. Don't try to be like anybody else. And take the shot. Because at the end of the day, if it works, and it kicks, suddenly people notice, and boom, it makes it easier for you to make your art in the future, that's fantastic. Even if it doesn't work on a commercial level, you've self-expressed, in a way that most people dream about doing and don't do. You take one step closer to ultimate success. If it doesn't happen, you take another fucking step. Do it again until it does. You're talking to the king of fucking failure, man. Like, I've probably failed more than I've fucking succeeded. And for me, that's all right, because I just see failure as success training. It teaches you what to do, what not to fucking do next time. And sometimes embarrassing, because you got to do it in front of a bunch of people, but fuck it, man. What's more embarrassing, failing in front of people, or fucking like, I wanted to do something, but I didn't do it, because ultimately I was scared that people might laugh at me. I'll save you the fucking shock. They're gonna laugh at you, they'll call you stupid and shit like that. When I was making Clerks, we were shooting at night. Convenience store was closed. So when people saw the lights on, they would come at night and try to buy shit. And we're like, we're not. They're like, you open 24 hours finally? I was like, no, we're shooting a movie here. Like, a movie? What do you mean, a porno? Because they didn't understand. Indie film was relatively new to them. I said, no, it's an indie film and blah, blah, blah. And so, they'd be curious about it, go away. When we were done shooting the movie, it was like probably from the time I shot it to the time I started showing it around, maybe 8-9 months or something. So for the next 8-9 months, people would come into the fucking, both the convenience store and the video store and be like, hey, Hollywood, how's your movie, man? What happened to your movie? I didn't see your movie in the movie theater, Hollywood. And you're like, thanks for the encouragement. So, people will take shots and shit like that, because life is a crab pot for some people. They don't want to see you reaching for the top. As soon as they see you over the edge, they're going to yank you right the fuck back down, because sometimes it's a reminder that they're not reaching for their dreams. Don't do it. Let them grab at your legs. You keep fucking reaching for yours, because I guarantee you, whether or not the world sees it or it gets picked up or you become a millionaire, you will be 1,000 times happier and more fulfilled just by making your fucking statement. So go say what you want to do, or say what you want to say, because I can't, and shit, and that's your best opportunity.
Thank you.